Hey everybody, Todd Hetty with Head First Performance. Just wanted to share a little about my adventures in Colorado over the past few weeks. Went out there for the first few races of the Lead Challenge series. It's a series that includes a trail marathon, a 50-mile either run or bike. I did the both, the mountain bike and the run 50 milers on consecutive days. And then I'll be going back later to take part in the 100-mile mountain bike race, followed by a 10K trail run the next day, and then a 100-mile trail run the next weekend. So we'll cover all those later. But for right now, we're going to talk a little bit about the marathon, which I did carry a camera during. So you're going to get to see some great videos of that. You'll notice that I did not take selfies during this because, hey, with the great scenery out there, why would you want to look at me?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And our 2024 Lifetime Leadville Trail Marathon runners, presented by La Sportiva, are on the road. Keep going, keep a positive mental attitude. You worked for this. Get yourselves up and over Mosquito Pass.
The race started out on Saturday morning. They were calling for some rain and those kind of things, but the weather ended up being spectacular. It was about roughly 40 degrees at the start. Most of the day was overcast. Sun came out later in the day for the last hour or so that I was out there. And if you're not familiar with it, the sun at 12,000 feet is way hotter than the sun at 700 feet where we are here in Kentucky. So it takes a little getting used to. The beginning of the race was on 6th Street in Leadville. And you start out on the pavement, and you'll go for a while, and you'll hit some pretty smooth gravel roads for a while. You'll notice that a lot of the videos that I'm taking during the way, it seems like I'm moving really slow. There's a good reason for that. I was moving really slow. Well, Leadville itself, the city, they say they're at 10,152 feet, and that's where the race basically starts at and heads up from there. We're going up to Mosquito Pass, which is a little over 13,000 feet. So it's a pretty good climb for the most of the first part of the race. As I said, the start is pretty smooth, not a lot of problems. There was a lot of rocky terrain, and not having a lot of that type of terrain to practice on here locally in Kentucky wasn't really my forte. And going up the hill was not near as bad as coming back down. The rocks, the roots, well, there wasn't a lot of roots. That's more of a Kentucky thing. But the rocks coming back down the hill really slowed me down. If you're really a good technical runner and can adjust your stride, shorter, longer, those kind of things, a whole lot better than I can, this would be a lot better race for you than it was for me. That being said, it was a great time. I enjoyed every minute of it. Everything went well, which is kind of a shame because it's always a better story when things don't go as well, and it's also a better educational experience for those if you can learn something out of it. But in general, most things went really well in this race for me. I felt like my nutrition was spot on. I felt like the shoes I were wearing were a good choice. We did the Hoka, Tecton X's, which was a carbon-plated trail shoe, and I didn't know exactly how that would feel over a marathon like that, but I had no problems at all there, and basically it was just a really smooth day. Over the course of the race, there were so many just beautiful views. It was unbelievable. The mountains you might expect to see. I even stopped for 3 or 4 minutes at the very top of Mosquito's Pass and took a bunch of video. It was worth the stop. You know, I wasn't doing anything but trying to finish one of these races so I could move on to the next. So there was no real hurry for any of it. There was a lot of old abandoned mining sites that Leadville's famous for. It's really hard to even put into words the views and the scenery that you get to experience during this race. I would recommend this race for just about everybody. You know, the altitude is the big thing at these races. Even though we did climb over 6,100 feet, I believe, during the race, it probably still wouldn't have been too awful bad if it hadn't started at 10,000 feet and went up from there. But I didn't really, I don't think I had as much problem with the altitude as I thought I would have in this particular race. Like I said, I had more trouble coming down the mountains than I did going up them, but it was well worth it. The race was well put on. There's a few surprises. Never been in a marathon or something shorter distance that during one of the passing one through the aid stations, they said, we've got bacon. That's always a winner in my book. So we had some bacon during the middle of the race. One of the aid stations had Coke. Well, actually, all the aid stations had Coke, but one of them I was very impressed because they had ice in their Coke, another bonus. And all in all, it was a great race, and I hope you get more out of the beautiful pictures in this video than you have off what I had to say, because everything went real well on the race. So I can't really say that there's anything to learn by that. I always learn more from screw-ups than I do from things that go well. So just enjoy the scenery, and I'll have another video up talking about the rest of the week we had in Leadville later. Thanks.